Hello, fellow warriors. This is Dao Paleo, and I'm Rokas Balčiūnas, and we have a second lesson today about some techniques with a spear. So, first of all, I'd like to talk about the stance, and afterwards, I'll show you the second technique, which is the strike, the short strike with a spear. So, first of all, the stance is on the line, and we stand on balls of our feet. So, the front foot here, you can turn it on my ball of my foot, and the back foot the same here. So when we stand, our line drawn from the thumb through the heel should end up and point to our heel. And then we have a triangle here between our toes as well. So we form somewhat triangle with the center of mass being between the feet. So in front here, the same, the ball of my foot goes here, and the ball of my back foot goes here. So I form a triangle, and I have the stance. So moving front, back, and here, front, back. When we have the stance on the line, we've learned about the thrust. So direct, straightforward movement. But also, since we have a large piece of spear in front of us, we can use it actually to strike. The problem with the strike with the spear is that in comparison to some other elongated weapons, for example, sword, we don't have that much of a space for a movement. Of course, we could move something around, but while we do that, we lose the defensive power and the distance that the spear can keep. So therefore, we have to generate power in very short and narrow movements. And in order to actually train our body to generate power, we have to perform several tasks that are not actually directly applicable in the fighting situation, but they develop the movement and the movement of the hands, and of course the movement of our center of our hip to generate power for the strike. So first of all, we start with the stance. So the same stance on the line. And for simplicity, we start by holding the spear at the end in front of our belly button. And we hold the same distance. We hold the spear in front of us vertically. And we hold quite close to our body. So even we could place and rest our hand on our belt here. So this is the position that actually teaches us to keep the hands together on the spear. Now, first step is to actually move the hands forward. So we move forward and generate the power just because of the movement. So we already learned the thrust, so generally it's the same movement. I move with my whole body and I punch with both hands. So when I do that, I learn to generate power from the step. Now I have to actually angle my movement to strike from the side. So to do that, I perform two things. When I extend the hands, I also angle them a bit. So I angle the hands like that. So like this. So still the same distance from my body, but at an angle. And then, when I angle my hands, I twist the body a bit. Twist the body. So, twist, twist, twist. So, the twist is not that I'm showing my side more, I'm just standing in more oblique stance. So, the stance could be a bit wider, and while I turn my feet, and of course I turn my hip a bit, I angle my body more. So I step, I twist my body, I angle the hands, and when I combine everything together, I get the strike. So the strike, and the strike. So I strike with this part of the spear. If we consider the spear with a metal head, we could strike with a metal head. But if we imagine that there's a stone spearhead, the stone spearhead is not so powerful for for the sideways movement, and therefore it actually can break. So we strike with the base of the tip, so we strike with this end, this part of the spear. So imagine when we strike, we imagine this part to strike the same height as our head, as if we would be striking the person with the same height. So here, step, strike, step, strike, step, strike. Now, when we've done this, we can actually learn to target different areas. And the easiest next step is to target the knee. To target the knee, I actually do the same. I stretch my arms, I angle the body, I twist the hands, but a bit more, so they would change their position. So the one that was above now actually is below, and the one that was below actually is above. I change the hands, I change bases of the hands. So when I do that, I actually can strike the knee. So I strike the knee with this movement. So now when I'm extending the hand, it is important to see that the hand is actually, both hands are being extended from my body equally. So I'm not doing with one hand or something like this. I'm doing with both hands, power generating from both hands as a punch. It's like, like a double punch. So moving forward with both hands, the same here. Strike, 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 and strike. Now, when I've mastered the target to the head, target to the knee, I can actually choose any target between them. For example, I can strike torso. I can strike torso from above. I can strike torso here. I can strike actually torso from below, from above. Head from below, this from above. So generally the movement is the same. Now, how is this movement connected with our stance that we had before? Well, the movement of the hands is the same. For example, I'm standing in the stance ready to actually thrust, but on the same time I actually can step, thrust, and angle the hands a bit and turn my body more and strike. So instead of thrusting, I can strike. So thrust, strike. I should actually say that you should start from the strike to the knee, because it's easier to actually to practice the movement. So here, so here. Now, if you want to strike the head, the turn should be to the opposite direction, as we had here. Turn here, so here. So the movement should be to the head. So now I should go this way to the head. So I turn my hands, and extend them, and turn my body more, and strike to the head. So instead of a thrust, I strike to the head. Strike to the head. So it's not one hand strike with this hand not moving. It's both hands generating the power. Both hands strike to the head. So the same from the side. Instead of thrusting, I extend my right arm to the side and strike the head. And of course, I can strike the torso, strike the knee, torso, knee, head, and so on. Now, as I mentioned before, we should practice on both sides. So strike, strike, strike to the knee, strike to the knee, strike to the torso, So we can practice to the knee, to the knee, to the knee, and to the head, to the head, and to the head. Now, the last important thing is the position of our hands. The power comes from the palms, not from the fingers. So you should always face your palm to the direction of the movement, to the direction of the force. So when I strike, this palm is facing the direction of the strike. This palm is also facing the direction of the strike. So as if I'm just squeezing my, in this case, spear between my hands. So strike, and both hands facing the direction. The same is here, facing the direction. So when I'm holding like this, I generate the power. You see, this hand becomes, instead of this position, it twists to the position of the power, and the same is here. So here, you see, this hand twists a bit to generate power and to have the support. So the movement, of course, I've shown actually very wide movements to the head, to the knee, to the torso, or to the torso, or to the head, or to the head. But generally, as you progress, you can have narrower and narrower movements and have the movements that are very short and have still power to either parry or actually strike and inflict damage. So thank you for watching, and I hope you like it, and I hope you like the sound now. And I will be uploading more lessons, so therefore, if you like Primal martial arts and you like to see more, I actually invite you to subscribe and like and share my videos. So we will be seeing you. Bye.